Well, hello world, and welcome to this brand new YouTube channel. I've been planning this for quite a while, not quite knowing exactly where to go with it, and had some fun with some friends and family about what we could call it. As you will see, I've settled for surviving at 70. Because I'm actually here, I'm talking live, so I'm surviving. We did go through a few thriving at 70, which I thought, am I? Are any of us thriving at 70? So yeah, we bounced a few ideas about, but here we are, and welcome. I hope that you get something out of this. I hope that you would like to subscribe and go on a bit of a journey with me. I've got an idea where the first half dozen episodes of this will go. It's mainly to do with exercise and pretty well the point of what we're trying to do here, and which is live life to the full for as long as possible and actually enjoy it. There's lots of things having got to 70. It's quite funny because, life begins at 40, they say, and oh yeah, 60's the new 50 and all of this rubbish. And then you actually I was 69 when I really seriously started thinking about it. And you get to 69 and you start looking for, 70's the new whatever. And all you find is the Psalms and the Bible about 70, which is basically, if you've had that, bye-bye, we're out of it. That's all you're entitled to. Off you go. So, I'm just an ordinary guy. I've been reading for several years about bits and bobs. One or two quite interesting books. This was an interesting one. Outlive: The Science and Art of Longevity by Dr. Peter Attia, if that's the correct spelling of his name. And I just thought there is so much on the internet about what we should be doing in our 60s and 70s, and I really don't like any of it. And I went to speak to a friend of mine a few weeks ago, who is actually a YouTuber, and he said, it's easy, Mike. He says, it's absolutely great. You get this software and you get that software. Everybody's doing it. And you just go into this and you say, type me up a script about, in this case, living at 70. And he said, you'll get this absolutely fabulous script. And then he says, you feed that into this software. And depending on how powerful your laptop is or your computer is, in 15 or 20, you go and put the kettle on, you come back, and you've got this AI video of, and that was when I suddenly realized how many videos on YouTube I absolutely detest when the audio doesn't quite get certain words correct. Live and live is one that's constantly mixed up by the... it's great, don't get me wrong. I really admire anybody who can produce programs on computers like that. But I'm sorry, if you like that kind of feed, bye. If you like good, honest to goodness, me to you, personal input, that's all I'm going to be doing. No AI, just human with the odd blip and blap. Do you know, one of the things that I started to realize later on in life was that going through life, there are two quite distinct things: reasons and excuses. An obvious one. When I was growing up, when I was approaching adulthood, I was almost 6'4" and I was about 14 stone. So there's a reason, an absolute solid reason why I could never become a flat horse racing jockey, or a jump jockey for that matter. But then you start looking at your life beyond those kind of black and whites, and you start looking at things that you didn't do. And lots of people say, not that I'm saying I'm regretting stuff, but lots of people say that as you get older, it's the stuff you didn't do that you regret, not the stuff that you did and perhaps failed at, because goodness knows we all try, and some of the things we succeed at and some of the things we don't. So what do? We learn that that's something that don't particularly have an aptitude for, like football. You know, I was at a school where it was football obsessed, and every PE lesson I was just told to go and stand behind the goal because I was absolutely useless. But I've had an interesting life, I've had some interesting careers, and I think I've learned a lot from an awful lot of people. I've taken advantage of some things that have come my way and other things I haven't. But yeah, funnily enough, when I was looking to do this filming today, episode 1 of Surviving at 70, I discovered that I'd actually written a poem about my 60th birthday, so almost 11 years ago. And it's quite interesting. When I was coming up to the 60th, my birthday's in June, and the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, the Monaco Grand Prix, is in May. So I hadn't really thought of my 60th at that point. But I was taken down to Newcastle one day, and I knew about 1 hour before I got on the plane to Nice that the family had all chipped in to take me on holiday. So that slightly explains. I'd like to read this poem to you, just to set a little where I was nearly 11 years ago and where I am today. So, 60th birthday. Jogging along in this human race, just trying to keep at a steady pace. Some days fast, but others slower, like a jaguar, then a ride-on mower. I don't understand the term race. Is we're all at the same clocked pace? I guess it's all about endurance, avoiding claiming the life insurance. Well, 60 notches in the head, and I am up and out of bed. I've got no pains nor aggravation. I've cleaned dog sick from her usual station. The sun is shining and we got no rain. Hope the whole day stays the same. I'll go up and give Hermie an apple. Hermie's my daughter's horse. Among the piebald, skewbald and the dapple. The Monaco's sounds of engines screaming. What fun, what memories. I wasn't dreaming. Well, it's 6:30, kettle on to make tea. And what's this day got in store for me? Flowers from Kelso this afternoon. I wonder news about a tune. I'm going now to open up my cards. To those who sent them, I thank you, yards. 11th of June, 2014. So there we are. Actually, a bit of blatant plugging. I've only got a few copies left. If anybody wanted to contribute to making this into... Actually, I'd quite like this to turn into a little bit of a club, where through the comments below, you can ask questions of each other, ask perhaps about other bits and bobs about aging and health, and we can perhaps help each other out on this journey. So I don't know how I would do it yet. I certainly don't have the facility to post out large numbers of these. I dare say it's possible, and I could organise it, have some copies printed. Again, a blatant plug, because I would like to be able to fund and actually take this channel to some lengths, and it can't happen for free. I'm just a 70-year-old guy with a pension. I'd like to read you some of the comments off the back, the people that I asked to proofread this before it actually went to print. A couple of the ones that I'm proudest of, one teenage boy, it was about everyday life that I can relate to. And another teenage boy, if all poetry was like this, I'd read poetry. One mum told me that her teenage son had actually put the Perseverse into the toilet, and he used to say when he was going to the toilet, I'm going into the library, mum. And she was chuffed because he'd never ever really read a book. A guy who's referred to as a retired male CEO. Great work. I'm reading through your book and it's bringing a smile to my face. Such a book should be shared. While washing the dishes this morning, I was thinking about your poetry and a particular poem, Idiots, which reminded me of so many people came to mind. While pondering on this, I had a thought of an alternative title for your book, Poems for the Common Man. That just about puts me in I'm just a common man. My favourite so far is Ambivalence. Having been there, got the t-shirt, be in no doubt this is an excellent read, and that from a man who has no verse. Thank you for letting me read your poems. Ambivalence, by the way, is about divorce and living through divorce. So going back to what I was saying a little earlier about excuses and reasons, when I designed the front of this book, it was designed specifically for volume 2. And all I was going to do was scribble, almost graffiti style, A-N-O and an R, to make it another little purse of verse, which I thought was quite quirky. I'd never seen done before. Have I got round to writing the second book? Do I make excuses, or do I try and come up with reasons? I've got a piano here. I've had that here for about 3 or 4 years. I still can't play it. Do you want excuses? Do you want reasons? Do you know what? At this stage of life, really should be putting more effort into stuff that I'd actually quite like to do. So, for this first episode, why don't you come on a little journey with me and meet my family? Oh, a lovely sunny morning, but very, very cold. Just to make a little bit of a point in this, what I'm actually on about, I'm going to pay a little visit to the cemetery and have a look at where my genes come from. I don't want to look like a fraud. I don't want to be talking about living to an old age where all of my ancestors were over 100. I'm not a cheat. I'm just a really ordinary guy with pretty ordinary genes and pretty ordinary expectations, life length wise. It's quality that I'm more interested in. Well, this is to put things in context, really. This is what it's all about. This is my family. Loved them, but I'm not in any rush to join them, as I'm sure none of you are. I just want to run through my brother. Okay, car accident, nothing to do with that. My mother, only 66 years of age. Cancer ruined the last 10 years of our life. My father, it says he made 78 years, but actually the last 10 years of his life he was severely diabetic. Towards the end he couldn't feel his legs below his knees, and you know, I'd prefer to be a little bit fitter than that. Next here we've got my great-grandfather and grandfather, great-grandmother, great-grandmother. Interestingly, my great-grandfather died just a couple of years before his son. He got right up into his 90s, and we seem to be going in the wrong direction. Statistically, the population of Britain has supposedly been getting older and older. My family have been going the other way. So make of that what you will, but I just want you to know that I'm not a fraud talking about this from a position of having a boneyard full of centenarians. I'm just an ordinary guy with, well, as I stand here today, if I look at my father, which is a main point that people look at how long he might live, I've got maybe 7 years to look forward to. Not a lot. Well, thanks for staying with me. Please click subscribe and like. And until the next time, so far, so good.